Tammy, you wanna come down here yonder?
I'm good.
Alright.
Setting: a sterile, cramped waiting area. The lighting is harsh. The air is thick with disinfectant and unexpressed hostility. Acti: the pressure cooker. Chris, pacing, head in his hands. My skull is a drum, a relentless, deafening instrument of pain. The pressure is monstrous. It feels like an iron band is being tightened by a cold, indifferent machine. Tam, relative, sitting rigidly, clutching a plastic cup. Your head hurts? Is that your contribution to this crisis? After everything that is currently suspended in the balance? Find perspective, Chris. Chris, stopping abruptly, eyes flashing. You are, at times, the most astonishingly, willfully oblivious person I have ever encountered. The density is not just legendary, it is a clinical marvel. But listen to me, and listen carefully. When I utter the word migraine, does that not inherently scream a state of unbearable cephalic agony? Is the conceptual leap truly that challenging? Tam, relative, calm, but cutting. You mistake my query for ignorance. I require precision. How precisely does the torment manifest? Is it a searing, blinding frontal assault or a crushing, suffocating occipital weight? Is the pain a throbbing rhythm or a constant, sharp spike? I need details, damn it, because I need to judge if this is actual pain or merely theatrics. A pause hangs, thick and suffocating. The unspoken anxiety is a physical entity in the room. Narrator/voiceover, a low, resonant, internal voice. The atmosphere is poison today. It is not just air they breathe. It is a crucible of raw, unrefined stress, a chemical bath of paralyzing fear, corrosive doubt, and the infinite, terrifying blackness of the unknown. In this volatile mix, their shared history and self-control are utterly fraying. Every nerve ending is exposed, a live wire spitting sparks. The tension breeds only sharp, defensive, preemptive strikes. They are at war with their own helplessness. The phone rings, a brief, shattering noise that... Chris, snatching the phone, voice tight speak. Immediately. Marissa, on phone, professional, steady hello. Hi, this is Marissa. Chris, yes ma'am. Do not soften the edges. Give me the unvarnished truth. Marissa, on phone. Chris, I'm calling directly from the surgical suite. We have a progress report. Everything is proceeding commendably, both the complex surgical reconstruction and the maintenance of anesthesia. Her left arm is complete, a finished, successful phase. The team has now transitioned and commenced detailed work on the abdominal area, and the lead surgeons are still deeply, meticulously engaged on the right facial quadrant. Chris, thank you. Thank you for this essential, life-sustaining dispatch. God bless you. Marissa, on phone. I shall speak with you again when the next phase is secured. Chris, farewell. Chris hangs up, his brow furrowed in deep confusion, his composure fracturing. Chris, to Tam, relative, wait. Did she explicitly state they were done with her left face? Tam, relative, standing, voice rising in frantic disbelief. No. You were listening with selective deafness. She explicitly stated the right arm was finished, and they are still meticulously, agonizingly working on the left side of her face. Your auditory perception is collapsing under pressure. Chris. So, a brilliant tactical division. The workload is split. 2 master surgeons, 2 independent fields of operation. Efficiency in the face of impossible complexity. Tam, relative, grabbing his shoulder, shaking him slightly. Stop intellectualizing the horror. You are dismissing the stakes. They'll miscalculate the mass balance. They will make her permanently asymmetrical. She'll be a terrifying, grotesque, lopsided construct. I cannot bear that reality. Chris, pulling away violently. Silence. I will not tolerate that malignant speculation. You are conjuring shadows where there is still hope. Tam, relative, I am merely anticipating the logical conclusion of failure. Chris, a roar. No. Your mere verbal capitulation is insufficient. Reel in the spite. That is the message. Cease the attack. I repeat, I have not been abusive. This destructive discussion is terminated. I refuse to engage in this circular, soul-crushing argument. I am finished with your venom. Tam, relative, stares at him for a long, heavy moment, then whirls and exits, slamming the door with a sound that echoes the collapse of their shared sanity. ACT-2, the internal battlefield. Chris, to himself, scrubbing his face with shaking hands. Tammy's family structure is dissolving. Tam is collapsing under the crushing, universal weight of worry for Tammy. Every attempt at communication today is delivered with a viciousness, a harsh, unforgivable, defensive edge. But that monstrous, careless crack about Tammy being lopsided, that remark didn't just hurt, it shattered my composure. That is not just speculation, that is a terrifying, achievable reality. I have personally witnessed the clinical horror of botched procedures, the permanent disfigurement, and it is not a subject for cheap, black, existential humor. Chris, internal monologue, pacing the empty space. Chris, you briefly, completely lost control of your very mind. You became the monster you were fighting. I had to enact an immediate separation, a tactical retreat, to gather the shattered, shrapnel pieces of my focus. Now I must return, but the shame is a stone in my gut. I barely comprehend the terrifying speed of that emotional detonation. But in these existential moments, the cold, hard truth remains. We are collectively terrified. We are soul-weary, emotionally dehydrated. We yearn for this to simply end, for the nightmare to lift, for Tammy to emerge whole, intact, and safe. There is no latitude, no spiritual, emotional, or practical space for this petty, vicious sniping. We must rise above the animalistic fear. Tam, relative, re-entering the room, moving slowly, subdued, her shoulders slumped in defeat. You're correct, Chris. I apologize. My fear is manifesting as cruelty. A moment of fragile, almost unbearable peace descends. The phone rings, a lifeline or a final blow. Chris, voice still rough. What new development now? Sister, entering the room, looking profoundly exhausted. Hey, brother. Just arrived. Chris, staring at her. You look like you've been sedated for a week. You look less rested than a corpse. Sister, I overslept. Profoundly. It was a descent into an unwarranted, total oblivion. My body simply took what it demanded. Chris, your nickname should not be Snorlax. It should be something more grand, more encompassing of your talent for immobility. Snorlord. I'm changing your contact name immediately to reflect your divine dedication to inertia. Sister, I am a creature of utter, cellular depletion. 2 hours of fractured, terror-filled sleep last night was an insult to my entire system. It was a cruel mockery of rest. Chris, you have finally, definitively realized you are too ancient for this relentless, exhausting emotional pace. The body is issuing eviction notices. Sister, I have always been too old for this. Even in the reckless abandon of my youth, my devotion to slumber was absolute. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a sacred necessity. They call it beauty sleep for a reason. Damn it all. The phone rings again. An authoritative, interrupting sound that demands attention. Chris, holding up a warning hand. Silence. Hold this noise. This is paramount. Answering, speak. Be brief. Marissa on phone, her voice conveying quiet triumph. Hi, Chris. It's Marissa again. We have a significant, major update. The arms are unequivocally complete. They are now fully closed and secured. The team is still engaged in the protracted work on the abdomen, face, and neck, but the entire, monumental process is proceeding with absolute, flawless fluency. Estimated completion is now refined, approximately 6 o'clock or 7 p.m. You should absolutely consider mobilizing and proceeding to the hospital now. Chris, a deep, shaky breath of pure, profound relief. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for this grace. We will be there. We will be waiting. Marissa, on phone, we will anticipate your arrival. Thank you. Chris, thank you. Goodbye. Chris hangs up, a faint, exhausted smile crossing his face. Chris, now, you miserable wretch. To sister, a return to playful antagonism, call our mother. Deliver the sacred news. Sister, pulling out her phone on phone, hey mom. Listen, the news is good. Tammy should be emerging from the surgical stage within the next hour. We're mobilizing to the hospital immediately, aiming to arrive around 6:10. Chris, interrupting, making a loud, dramatic gesture, I am only human. I cannot suppress the tidal wave of my own stress. I must express the overwhelming tension. Sister, ignoring Chris, turning away to protect the call, back to phone. We should be able to see her in the post-anesthesia care unit, PACU, or TRIA, within 45 minutes of our arrival. She is secure. They are finalizing the closure sequence now, sealing the final incisions. Chris makes a loud, exaggerated, damning sound, a sound of existential complaint and frustration. Sister, snapping the phone shut, spinning on Chris, her face a mask of cold fury when the name of God is your fundamental, perpetual grievance. What ancient insult fuels this behavior? Stop with the juvenile, self-pitying, I'm only human defense. Get that weak justification out of my pee. Chris, to sister, voice low and dangerous man, I don't know what festering emotional malady your sister has contracted, but you need to muzzle her, now, with brutal, surgical immediacy. I am about to deliver a profound, unyielding checkmate reality check. She needs to physically plug that source of her vile, toxic expressions. She has the gall to enter this shared space and pass gas without a single utterance of apology, and then throws a tantrum when people react to the stench. Unbelievable hypocrisy. Chris, raising his voice, addressing the entire volatile group with newfound, cold authority, listen to me. Listen to the truth of this moment. The single, sacred, overwhelming purpose here is Tammy's recovery and survival. That is our sole, binding focus. If you must harbor bitterness, if you must nurse grudges, take that poison elsewhere. You will not pollute this sacred vigil with your personal, petty warfare. Tam, relative, rubbing her temples, looking defeated, I am utterly depleted. I am ready to return to the sanity of my own sanctuary. A new, frazzled sibling, Patrick, enters the room, oblivious to the preceding chaos. Patrick, what in the ever-living, unholy hell have I walked into? Did a war just break out? Amanda, returning, unable to leave, eyes blazing with righteous indignation, the sheer, crushing misery of being surrounded by my siblings and their ceaseless, backbiting, judgmental condescension. I am done. I swear to God. The second Tammy's eyes open and she acknowledges me, I am gone. Tammy will comprehend the necessity of my flight. And if she doesn't, she can be completely absent from my wedding. I have extended unconditional love and support. Now, they poke, they prod, they dissect. My siblings clearly have such contempt for my decisions and my chosen future that my wedding is irrelevant to them. Tammy understood. Tammy told me to cancel it, so I canceled it.